choose our socks for success in all endeavors. Fortunes rises from the heel, and good luck for life.
Good morning. Today is Saturday, January 4, 2025. Today in history, 382 years ago, British physicist and mathematician Isaac Newton was born. He discovered universal gravitation and the three laws of motion, shaping scientific understanding and laying the foundation for modern engineering. Newton also formulated the principles of conservation of momentum and angular momentum. Welcome to today's Ching Chow Morning News. Let's start with political updates. Indonesia orders government officials to limit overseas trips. According to Agence France-Presse, the Indonesian government recently adopted a regulation requiring government employees, including cabinet ministers, to reduce overseas trips to save national expenses. President Prabowo said Indonesia spends $3 billion annually on official foreign travel. The new regulation allows travel only for highly urgent matters and those directly related to national priority projects. Only 5 people can participate in overseas investment tasks, with additional participants allowed if deemed moderate. The rules also apply to bilateral or multilateral meetings, with 2 additional spots allowed for interorganizational working groups. Syria's new government claims armed groups agree to disband. According to Syrian news, the new Syrian government has reached an agreement with rebel organizations to disband them and integrate their members into the regular defense forces. The new leader, Ahmad al-Shair, stated that weapons outside state control will not be allowed. Previously, the military chief of Tahrir al-Sham, the group that led the overthrow of Assad, said Kurdish-controlled areas would also be reintegrated under the new leadership, declaring, "Syria will not be divided." The 13-year civil war in Syria has killed over 500,000 people, with the country divided into spheres of influence controlled by armed groups backed by international powers. Israeli airstrike hits Yemen airport. According to the Washington Post, the Israel Defense Forces recently attacked multiple targets in Yemen, including Sana'a International Airport, killing at least 4 people and injuring 19. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus was preparing to board a flight when the airport was hit, and a crew member was injured in the attack. The Houthi armed forces have been firing missiles at Israel for months, with 2 missiles previously breaching Israel's air defense system, causing damage and casualties. Tedros was in Yemen to negotiate the release of 13 United Nations staff detained by the Houthis and assess the local humanitarian situation. The Israel Defense Forces did not respond to media inquiries about whether they knew Tedros was at the airport when the attack occurred. South Korea's central bank considers rate cuts. According to Yonhap News Agency, the Bank of Korea's 2025 Monetary and Credit Policy Operation Direction report predicts that South Korea's price increases will be effectively controlled in 2025. However, due to rising political uncertainty, intense global competition, and changes in the trade environment, the central bank plans interest rate cuts to keep prices steady and ease economic pressure. Regarding financial markets, the central bank highlighted increased uncertainty from the new U.S. government's economic policies and geopolitical risks. It will strengthen early warnings and may use strategies like bond repurchase transactions to stabilize the market. In foreign exchange, the central bank will implement measures to reduce market volatility. Azerbaijan plane crash, 29 survivors. According to Isnada, on December 25, an Azerbaijan Airlines passenger plane crashed in western Kazakhstan while en route from Baku to Grozny, killing 38 of the 67 people on board. The remaining 29 survivors included 3 children. Images from the scene showed the plane descending rapidly, hitting the ground, and bursting into flames, with thick black smoke rising. Azerbaijani media reported that the flight recorder has been found, and Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan are cooperating on the investigation. Initially, Azerbaijan Airlines claimed the plane hit a flock of birds but later withdrew the statement. Aviation experts consider this unlikely. Some sources suggest the plane may have been hit by a Russian air defense system, but the Russian Ministry of Defense has not yet responded. Biden signs 50 bills to combat campus bullying. Reuters reported that U.S. President Biden recently signed 50 bills, including one to combat school bullying, marking the first federal anti-bullying standards in the U.S. to address violence and deaths on higher education campuses. The bill requires colleges to disclose bullying incidents reported to campus or local police in annual safety reports and mandates schools to educate students about the dangers of bullying. Additionally, U.S. authorities will legislate to create a federal task force on youth residential programs to oversee the health, safety, care, treatment, and placement of minors in rehabilitation centers and other facilities. South Asia Tsunami 20th Anniversary, memorials held across Asia. According to Agence France-Presse, on the 20th anniversary of the South Asian tsunami, events were held across Asia to honor the more than 220,000 victims. On December 26, 2004, a magnitude 9.1 earthquake off Sumatra, Indonesia, triggered 30-meter-high waves that struck 14 countries, killing over 226,000 people and displacing more than 1.5 million. It remains one of the deadliest natural disasters in history. In Banda Aceh, Indonesia, a mosque alarm sounded for 3 minutes, marking the exact moment the earthquake triggered the massive waves, beginning a series of commemorations. In Sri Lanka, survivors and victims' relatives gathered to mourn the more than 30,000 lives lost. In Thailand, an unofficial vigil was held alongside a memorial service, where families of victims laid flowers at the tsunami memorial wall. According to Xinhua Finance, on the first day of polysilicon futures listing, all contracts surged, with the main contract 2506 closing up 7.69%. That's all for today's Qingchao Morning News. Thanks for watching. Join us at the same time tomorrow.